story of the game is the turnovers. It's impossible to win a game with 28, and I think we had one game like this with the Indy game, and there are going to be more like that this season. But it's how we respond to it as a group, how we learn from it. We're a young team, we're a young group, and we're going to have our highs and lows a lot this year, and especially after the great start. I think it's just how we bounce back and get ready for the tight turnaround tomorrow night.
Questions?
Speaking of the tight turnaround, what's your message to the team in this first back-to-back series that you have?
Yeah, so it's really taking the things that I felt we did a better job of, that we emphasized heading into this, and that was the second and third quarter. I felt we did a really good job keeping them off the O-glass, and that was a big focus of the game. Gave up too many in the first quarter, and then just that final stretch in the last 6 minutes. But I was really proud because we really spoke about getting hits, frontal hits, everyone coming back to rebound, and we did a really good job in halfway through the first, and then for the second and the third. So we got to take that into tomorrow night against Indy's bigs, and then just clean up all the pressure stuff. I think they're obviously speeding us up. It hurt not having Taya today, but yeah, we're back with a full team against Indy would be in a good place.
So you do expect both of them to play? As far as the turnovers go, how many of them would you? I mean, obviously you don't have the numbers right in front of you, and you have to look at the film. But roughly, how many would you say of them are ones that you're okay with, trying to make the right play, and how many were just kind of sloppy?
The interesting thing, Sean, I felt like a lot of them were actually unforced errors, where it was just some kick aheads, or just really not perceiving the situation. I felt, I think part of it is we're asking players to be in different roles, and this is part of it. I think for everyone, it's coming to an expansion team. It's everyone's playing minutes and getting usage rates which they've never experienced before. So, I think it was surprising because we've done a pretty good job in the first 8 games, just in terms of valuing possessions, and the turnovers we had, I didn't feel were as egregious as the ones we saw tonight. So, I think players will watch their minutes, and we spoke about it in the locker room. They see where those turnovers are occurring, and we'll clean it up.
You talk about players in new usage situations. Holly Winterburn gets her first WNBA start, and she led the team in minutes played tonight. How did you, I guess, what was her reaction to learning that she was starting tonight?
Holly approached it like a true pro, and I think she got better as the game went on, just as she was settling in. And then, I thought towards the end we saw some really nice things. And I think, Holly's been played as a combo a lot of her career, and I really want to develop her into a 1, and I think she can do it. I think it's going to give us versatility, if she can play 1 through 3, and some encouraging signs tonight.
If you do have everybody healthy, are you pretty much good with the starting lineup that you have, or have you thought at all about making any kind of
I think always thinking that with tweaks, Sean. I think what does ultimately matter more to me is who closes in the finishing group. So that's, for me, I really don't care so much about the starters because of the way we rotate and the rotations that we have here. But it's more, figuring out the best lineups in terms of first, second unit, where the now we got a decent sample size to work with. So it's just constantly looking at that and, making refinements based on what we're getting back with the analytics, and then, who closes, that's what's most important.
Ashlee, what was it like in the fourth quarter in the huddles, talking through how to close out that game?
Yeah, I think it's just, no matter how much they're up by, you still continue to play hard and finish it out the right way. It's about how you finish. And so I felt like we definitely still played pretty hard, and just understanding that, it is a quick turnaround for tomorrow. And so we got to kind of flush this one and be ready for tomorrow.
Can you talk a little bit more about that back-to-back games? How do you get ready to kind of shake this one off and move into tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's just like if you make a mistake, right? You got to just kind of let it go, and you just got to move on to the next play. So tonight we're gonna obviously look at things that we can do better for tonight that will help us for tomorrow. But you've got to be able to reset really quick. You don't have time to sulk in it. You've got to be ready to go play a great Indiana team tomorrow, and understanding that we got to bring our defensive energy tomorrow.
I say with the turnovers you guys had, obviously the number of it jumps off the page, but you know, how many of them would you say are, you know, ones that where you guys were like trying to make the right play, and how many of them were ones that you just kind of thought were just like sloppy?
Yeah, I just think that they did a really good job of packing the paint tonight, and I think that that caused us some trouble. But I think at the end of the day, you're going to have games where you turn the ball over, right? I mean, tonight was just not as much as we wanted to do, but I think that we can take away plays to where we can see it and go back and look at it and be like, all right, you know, if we get this 1 second into the paint quicker and then make a better paint decision, I think that it will help us go a long way. But Atlanta's a great defensive team, and it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshines offensively. So we'll go back and look at the tape and just clean it up.
With Epicenter Week being announced yesterday and further cementing Portland as like the global epicenter of women's sports, what does that actually feel like from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, Portland has just shown so much support in women's sports since I've gotten here. Like, it's honestly been truly amazing. I think that you're grateful for it because you want to play for a city that truly represents women's basketball, women's sports in general, the Thorns, all them. And just seeing the support that they show for both of our organizations, it means a lot. I think as a woman, you want that support. And just seeing where women's basketball is going and growing and being able to know that, you know, the city's behind us. But it's really cool.
When you see so many girls out there, when was the first time that you noticed that, like, you know, you were being watched by, you know, was there a specific moment?
I mean, I think just growing up, just playing and just being in high school, and then, you know, having middle school girls kind of look up to me, and then obviously getting into college and all that stuff, it meant a lot. And I think one thing was just, like, I always want people to just remember, like, no matter how old you get, no matter the fame, where you are in life, like, just continue to have fun and play with so much joy, because this game is so much fun and I love it so much. And so I always just try to remind the little girls, like, have fun, smile, like just enjoy the game no matter how older you get.